What would our lives be like if we had children? You're my number one, I'm your number one right now. And so if I had children, you become my number two.
Hey everybody, welcome to our Facebook Live episode of Relationship Theory. I'm your co-host, Tom Bilyeu, and I am here with...
Lisa Bilyeu.
Yeah, buddy. And we're going to be talking relationships, taking your questions, as always.
Let's start getting through them. Tracy Scott.
Tracy Scott.
Yeah,
OG
what's up, Tracy?
If only you could see Cindy's face right now. Cindy's grinning ear to ear.
Okay, on the note of not having kids, do you ever hear that you are selfish for not having or wanting to have kids? I hear it often and don't really have any idea how to respond. Any thoughts?
I have thoughts.
So I think obviously there's a lot more pressure on me than there is you.
Yeah, for sure.
Growing up in a Greek family, it was just assumed you'd get married and you'd have kids immediately. I remember when I first said to you, like, because we were like planning out our future, okay, we'll move to LA, this will be the day, and blah, blah, blah. And I think I even said, and you know, in about a year we'll have kids. And you're like, what? You were like horrified. Because I guess, again, it was just my culture. I didn't even ask the question. It was just, I just went along with it, which is terrible. But, and you're like, no, like we're still young. I want to enjoy you. I want to really like drink you in. Let's have, you know, we should have some years of it just being us. And so I was okay with that. But as we started getting, or especially you started getting a lot more ambitious, driven, your mindset was just completely changing. We would discuss it more and more, like, is this the right time? Is this the right time? And it wasn't until we started Quest and I started working at the company that I found myself. So once I realized, I don't know, like, I'm so loving what I'm doing. I'm growing as a woman, as a businesswoman. I'm learning so much. We then had the discussion on whether we were going to have kids or not. And once we had kind of decided, because it's quite a long story, I don't know how much detail to go into, but once we had actually decided to not have kids because of the ambition and because we wanted to do, it was hard for me to admit it to certain women, because I knew I would be judged. And so, yeah, that was tough. And so it took me about a year, I think, after we had decided to not have kids. And I guess the reason why we decided to not have kids is we had the honest discussion of what would that look like, right? What would our lives be like if we had children? You're my number one, I'm your number one right now. And so if I had children, you become my number two. Because, right, that's instinctual. The woman has to like focus and take care of the child, and you didn't want to be my number two. And then I started to analyze what our lives would be like from the other side of things, where you're going to work every day, you're extremely ambitious, you work 12, 13, 14, 15 hours a day, like every day. So now you come home, you're gonna want to see the children. So now I have to obviously share you, and look, I'm being very candid here, and I know that some people may not like, you know, but I will have to share you with the children. So now I may get 30 minutes with you, right? If you think about how much you work, like even now I don't get 30 minutes, but it would be important to me that you were a good father. And so it's not that I wouldn't want you to spend that time with the children, it's just that would be the reality. And so then we analyze, what would that life look like? I would be at home because I don't want to be, and this is just a personal preference, I don't want to be a part-time mother. I would want to raise them. And so I'm at home all day, I'm not working with you, we're not growing together, we're not building what we're building together, you're coming home, I'm barely seeing you. And we just said that's not, you know, the life we really want. And so once we decided that, I became very like okay with it, and that was, you know, something that I was definitely confident in. It took me about a year to admit it. And then by the time I admitted it, I was like, you know what, why do I let other people's opinions affect me? Like, why is it not okay for me to decide to not have children, but it's okay for other people to have children? Like, there's such judgment on that. And some people, I guess, see me as being less of a woman if I don't have children. It is. So going back to your thing, Tracy, I actually think it is selfish of me. I'm doing it because I want to, but I don't think that's a problem. That was my final thought. I don't think it's a problem. It is selfish because I'm putting myself first, but people who want children are doing it for themselves, so isn't that technically selfish? I think it is. But it's not a bad thing. So I'd say you need to be confident in owning your decision. And if people are going to judge you, then maybe they're not the right people to have in your lives.
Word. Yeah, my answer is literally, it's selfish. It's amazing. Like, be selfish. Live your life. It doesn't matter. Like, whether we have kids or not does not impact, other than your mom, my mom, your dad, my dad. I guess they could sort of like be pissed because it directly impacts their lives. But that's why they had multiple kids. Place your bet on one of the other ones. But, it is selfish. I don't see a problem with that. Go live your best selfish life.